Jesus, we collected a lot of seeds. We could have our own seed and plant swap just from what we collected in our garden back here. How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life. So this is mid-September. The summer is coming to a close and the growing season with that. The good news is there's loads of seeds to be saved out in the garden. And there is flowers and fruit and vegetables. In this video, I'm going to show you some of those. And also, if you're interested in more detail, if you want to come for a seed saving workshop, we have one on next Sunday. So book your tickets on our website on the events page. We'll see some of you there. If you'd like to avail of plants, seeds or cuttings, you can get those on our website as well. There is so much of an abundance out there. You can see here, I'm just in the other garden and there's kale seeds here. See them there? They're not ripe yet. So once the seed pods dry, actually they'll be ready. It's plants like these you can harvest the seeds from now. These are poppies. As you can see here, they have opened and there is seeds inside. So let's give that a try actually. Now I have a tub here, a tub with no holes. And all we need to do really is to actually bend the plant over and shake the seed pods into it upside down. It couldn't be easier. And look at that. Look at the amount of poppy seeds you get just from shaking the seed pods. And literally you could actually save your seeds and then bring them to a seed swap or share them with your gardening friends. And you can do that with all the vegetables, all the flowers, and pretty much any plant, even fruits as well. But then you'd have to deal with the berries. When you let plants go to seed in your gardens, you might have to be conscious of the fact that they could actually become a little bit weedy, as in their seeds will actually sprout all over the place. With feverfew, that's very much so the case, but we don't mind actually, because it's a tremendously useful plant. So any plant that's very useful, like a flower that's multifunctional, for example, attracting beneficial insects, and it has medicinal values as well for us humans, or even edible plants such as vegetables, we don't mind so much if they go to seed, such as the purple tree spinach. Hang on. Oh, hello. How are you doing? How are you? Ah, no, thank you. Thank you, Levi. Thanks for cleaning. No, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Oh, no, he's going to spill meat seeds. And here's the other one now. All right. Attaboy. Nina. They're so jealous, aren't they? Alright, here is a great mullen plant actually that's still flowering. We probably won't be collecting any seeds from that this year. Ooh, look at that, I just spotted something here. Golden raspberries. Take a look at them. Wonder, are they ready? If they come off easy. Not very. Here, how are you doing? Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
You came just on time. Is it ripe? Not quite. It didn't come off the stem very easily. But there's more of them, yeah, there's more. You can harvest some of them. There's loads of them in there actually. Golden raspberries are lovely. Now let's have a look over here. So we got the poppy seeds. We've got a ton of poppy seeds now, just from one plant. Make sure the dogs don't spill that. Here you can see the purple tree spinach. It's a beautiful ornamental plant, but also it's edible. It makes for really nice satay. But also you can eat the seed heads as well. But those are kind of like amaranth. I guess it's in the amaranth family, I believe. And you can let those ripen and you get seeds from them too. Even the marsh woundwort also produces seeds as well. I can see the seeds here. They're kind of black seeds. Yeah, there's marsh woundwort seeds. We actually sell the rhizomes of the marsh woundwort on our website. It's a great wildflower. It's a native wildflower. It's quite beautiful, but also very beneficial to the insects. We'll make a video about it in more detail, but it also grows these starchy rhizomes you can eat. So let's see here. I've already harvested the Alexander plant. So this is feverfew here, and once the flowers are finished, they turn into this. And then you can just harvest the seeds from them too. Look at that. There's loads of little seeds there. So let's just collect some of those and then put them in the tub. And you can see there's so many flower heads here. We won't even be able to use them all, but we'll collect lots of seeds and we'll keep spare seeds as well for all you guys. Anyone that orders something from our website, we usually send you great Mullen seeds or Portuguese kale seeds or some other kind of seeds that we save here. As much as I'd like to collect seeds from the Dobbington or the Taunton Dean kale, it is perennial and it never goes to flower, so we can propagate it by cuttings though. Here are the dahlias. They can be saved as well for seed. They're not ripe yet though. Can you please let me know in the comments below if you've ever grown dahlias from your own collected seeds that you saved yourself? Because I grew all these dahlias from seed from the shop and they did very well, and they don't need to be collected during the winter as well. They've been growing there for 3 years now. Look at this. This is a great mullen, and great it is. Jesus, it's tall. It's like 3 meters or 10 feet tall. So we can collect the seeds from those too. I have a separate video on that actually, and you can see the seed pods. Hang on. You can see the seed pods here. They start to dry in and open. That's most of the time you'll find that the seeds are ripe when the seed stalk has gone completely dry. So seeds are in there. Let me just pick one. Hang on. Let me try and find a dry one. Here, I'll just pick one of these. Let's see if I can get, yeah, there you go. There. Each of these little tiny specks, these little seeds that are way less than, even less than a millimeter, will turn into a giant plant like that, biennial. So great mullen is really useful, especially for the leaves for tea and the flowers for oil. So one plant that we want to keep around. So what I do is, if I want to harvest them, I wait for the whole stalk to dry and then I put them in a plastic bag and then just shake them around and beat them around just to release the seeds from the pods. That way I can get like 100,000 seeds from the one plant. And then I share them at our seed and plant swaps. So Jacob's ladder is another great plant to take seeds from. So what I do is I pick the stalks and I just put them into a bag and then kind of just empty them out. And you'll see you get some seeds from them too. And this is actually the blue variety. It's also known as, the white one is known as Greek valerian. Yeah, there you go. More seeds. I've already collected the Jacob's ladder seeds. There are plants you don't really want to have go to seed. For example, lemon balm, it becomes a bit, I wouldn't like to use the word invasive, but it spreads a bit too well. And you can see one of the lemon balm plants here. Actually, there's 3 or 4 of them here in one place. I don't mind, like it attracts an awful lot of insects and we get tea from it as well. And we can dry the leaves and make tinctures and oils as well. It's tremendously useful, especially for insect bites. While we're here. A lot of bees on the dahlias. A quick word of warning for you, don't let the weeds around your garden or in your garden actually go to seed, because otherwise you're going to end up with more of them. So you have Sticky Mickey and you have cleavers, also known as, and we've got nettles actually going to seed here as well, and the good old willow herb. Definitely don't want more of those in your garden. Don't let them go nearby. These ones are far away from our garden, so they're fine. Rose hips are definitely worth saving seeds from. So you can look at the amount of rose hips here. You can just take the ones that are ripe, the ones that have gone kind of shrunk, that are crinkly, and you can just open them up. You can actually eat that part as well, but inside you've got seeds. There you go, and then you can grow, one of these will grow into a giant bush eventually. This rose bush here is about 5 or 6 years old now, and it's been well fertilized by our chickens right over here. And I'm going to be saving some of these seeds, but I'm also growing some roses from cuttings as well. And here's another quick example. This is a mallow. This is a wood mallow. It's a nice plant. It's edible, and the seeds look like a cheese wheel when it ripens. That's why they're also known as cheeses. And you can break those up. These ones aren't ripe yet. The seeds are still green. So we might harvest some of those a little bit later. And here's another example. This is a lovage plant. Great for the leaves, and also the seeds are nice to eat. You see them here. And there is some amount of seeds here. Look at this. We could just pick the whole bunch like that. And then we could just dry it like that. What do you think?
It's awesome.
We can use them in our cooking if we wanted to, but also we can grow new plants as well. This is a perennial, so each year we get more seeds off it. So that's a seed crop. Oh, so we'll harvest some of these lovage seeds as well. We might as well. It smells lovely anyway. Smells exactly like lovage. Now all we do is take them like that, and then you can rub them into the tub. Already a lot of the birds have eaten some, and a lot of them have dropped already. So I guess we're going to have lots of volunteers next year in our system. And look at that. Each of those seeds will grow into a new plant, just like this one, and they're perennial as well. Another quick tip for you, make sure that you're collecting the seeds on a dry day, and hopefully they'll dry much better for you. And you can dry them at room temperature or in the greenhouse, but either will do fine. I wouldn't put them on top of a heat source though. Just be careful with that. Jacob here is also harvesting some seeds. Here's the tub. Good man. We'll collect enough seeds for the whole year. Alright. Just remember, when you're growing fruit from seed, you'll get a different variety most likely, and you're better off to grow it from vegetative material such as cuttings or roots. And with flowers, especially wildflowers, they're fine from seed, they work great, and you can grow lots more for years to come, and even maybe bring some flower seeds or even plants that you grew from your own saved seeds at home when you're going to visit someone with a garden. And that's why we always like to have some spare plants and just give them to people. And then they'll have them forever, because the plants we grow mostly are perennials, and they'll make seeds every year as well, so they'll naturalize the area as well. So that's handy. Look at this mint variety. Just a quick tip for you, for if there's lots of insects on your flowers or even on your seed pods, all you have to do is to get rid of them in a humane way and in a safe way. Simply put your seeds in a tray and just leave them on a windowsill or maybe even in the greenhouse. Let them just walk away, and after a day or even half a day, those insects will be gone and your seeds will be clean. If you are harvesting seeds from fruits or berries, you can do that, especially wild fruits, they work great. But cultivated varieties, of course, you won't end up with the same variety, most likely not anyway. But the way you do it is simply just basically try to squish your berries or separate your pulp of your fruit or berries from the seeds, and then try to dry it out, spread it out and dry it, and then try and pick out the seeds from it. And then keep them separate, make sure there's no pulp on the seeds when you're drying them and storing them, because the pulp might go to mold as well. It might go moldy. Look at this. This is the former pizza garden, which has completely perennialized now. It's so productive. We've got figs, American elders. Look at that. American elders are blooming a lot nowadays, this time of year. And we got the first fennel seeds coming on too. Look at all the fennel here. These fennel plants are now 4 years old, and they've been producing seeds every year. Look at that. And those aren't ripe yet. When they dry out again and they come off easy from the stem, that's when seeds are ready. Same as berries. Berries are ripe, not when they are necessarily coloured, but same as seeds, when they come off the stalk easy. And when berries are soft, and when the seeds are dry. So we were just collecting these feverfew seeds here. I couldn't believe my own eyes. The red hot poker plant right here actually has gone to seed as well. Bend it down into the tub. No, not good. You don't have to do that. You can just bash it. Just tap it with your finger. Pretty good. Look how many seeds. Like that. Collected. Now some of those are husks now, but you see the smaller ones, they're the seeds.
You see in there? Yeah, there's the seeds in there.
Red hot poker seeds. Lovely. Take a look at this corner of the garden here. The Dobbington kale, we got feverfew, black currants, sorrel here going to seed. I may have to pull that up before it spreads its seed. And look at this, a great mullen going to flower. Loads of bits and pieces here. Always something to find. Thanks for watching the video, and if you have any questions about saving your own seeds in your garden, please let me know. And if you'd like to come to a seed and plant swap, check our events page. Let us know in the comments below if you're interested in having another seed and plant swap. We might have a harvest festival in a few weeks' time, just to get people to bring in whatever they have and just have a chat. So we'll see you the next time. And if you'd like to take a workshop in seed saving and go into much more detail, we'll have a 2-hour workshop on next Sunday. Take a look at our website for more details and to book tickets. Thank you. See you the next time. Bye bye. How are you doing, Mother? Oh, you weren't doing too well there for a while. Mother is this is the mother. That's her name, and she's 15 years old now. And she was very sick some time ago, and we healed her with the help of herbs and mushrooms, and she became better. And she's still alive 7 years later now.